Hello. One of the most extensive archaeological excavation programmes ever undertaken in the UK was planned alongside the construction of Crossrail. The Elizabeth Line work began in 2009, running east to west across the city through some of London's most significant historical districts. An opportunity to preserve finds for future study and to gather information on London's history. Over 100 archaeologists involved, a unique opportunity to explore that rich layer cake that lies beneath London's streets. Tens of thousands of items have been found, spanning thousands of years. These flint flakes are Mesolithic, about 8,000 years old, found at North Woolwich. So many in one place. This was not someone touching up their scraper at the end of the day. This is a Mesolithic tool-making factory. At Plumstead, some sharpened wooden stakes were found that came from a Bronze Age raised trackway running across the marshland. These are horseshoes from Roman London. They're known as hippo sandals, made of iron, and they don't nail on in the way that modern horseshoes do. They wrap around the horse's hoof and are then tied on with leather straps. This is a pair of medieval skates made of animal bone. And I love this ball. It's Tudor and it would have been used by a wealthy family for playing either bowls or skittles. Now I say wealthy family because bowls and skittles very popular in Tudor England, but only played by the wealthy. These were not sports indulged in by the ordinary people. And it was found at a site known as King John's Court, a Tudor mansion. No known association with King John, but that's the name that it had. In the 17th century, it became Worcester House. It was the home of the Marquess of Worcester. But in the Tudor period, it was home to the Fenn family. It's now City Farm at Stepney Green, but excavation took place because it was going to be where a ventilation shaft was going to be sunk to the tunnel beneath. And the ball made of willow was found in the moat. Bodies have been found. This particular skeleton was found at the Bedlam burial ground, and investigation showed that the person was a victim of the Great Plague in 1665. From the 19th century, there's over 13,000 jam jars and pickle pots have been found Tottenham Court Road, close to the Cross and Blackwell factory, and they'd been stored in a room beneath the Astoria nightclub. Now there's an exhibition of all the finds from the Crossrail project in partnership with the Museum of London, and it's online, archaeology.crossrail.co.uk, and it takes you on a journey along the route of the new railway, and there's photographs and footage of the excavations actually taking place. Now I said the Crossrail project was one of the most extensive ever undertaken in Britain. It is going to be dwarfed by HS2. Over 1,000 archaeologists involved just in phase 1, that first 150 miles, and 60 specific sites have been identified for exploration. And again, they range from prehistoric right through to modern times and World War II. Promises to provide some fascinating insights. There have been some early finds in Buckinghamshire. There was some prehistoric flint found at Great Missenden, and medieval pottery at Stoke Mandeville. In Hampstead Road in London, beneath what was once the National Temperance Hotel, 2 Victorian time capsules have been unearthed. Now, amongst the projects that are planned for HS2, there was an exploration of a prehistoric hunter-gatherer site on the outskirts of London. There's research into a multi-period site in Northamptonshire, spans the Bronze Age, Iron Age, Roman, Anglo-Saxon and into medieval. The excavation of a Romano British town at Fleet Marston near Aylesbury. the remains of a medieval manor in Warwickshire, retelling the story of a Buckinghamshire village at the site of Stoke Mandeville's former parish church. Now, Old St Mary's was replaced in the 1860s, and the village had actually moved away. Mostly the church had been demolished. There's a few remains that still stand above ground, but exploration of this site will tell the story of the earlier Stoke Mandeville village. There's also sites that will give us information on the impact of the Black Death on medieval villages. A burial ground in London from the Georgian period has already been investigated, and the findings are going to be compared with a Victorian burial ground in Birmingham. And there is going to be the exploration of a World War II bombing decoy site in Lichfield. Now, bombing decoys were part of an undercover campaign of illusion in which sites were dressed up to look like airfields or marshalling yards or munitions factories to draw attention away from the real thing. And controlled fires were lit on these sites to mimic the effect of bombs having struck home. The programme was masterminded by a retired Air Ministry officer, Colonel John Turner, and he recruited people from the theatre and film industries so that he had people with experience of special effects and set construction. The Lichfield decoy was set up to draw attention away from Fradley Airfield. There were also decoy sites to draw attention away from urban sites, and these were known as starfish sites, and there was one at Ticknall to try and divert attention from Derby. Now, Crossrail and HS2, like most archaeology today, are best described as rescue archaeology, in advance of building projects that are going to be destructive. But in my next session, I'm going to look at a site that was revealed by coastal erosion in Norfolk. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is published.